What is up, guys? Hope you're having a great day. Today's Thursday, June 10th, 2021. We got a lot of stuff going on in crypto. The market's sort of been all over the place lately. It was up at one point this morning, like 8-9%. Now it's down just a little bit, down 2-3%. Been all over the place, but if you're new here, this is our first live stream ever on this channel. Most of the time I do it on my main channel, the one that has 250,000 subscribers, but I'm trying to focus a lot on this channel, crypto, tech news, everything going on. So today what we're going to cover on this channel, we're going to go over what is going on with El Salvador, how they made Bitcoin legal tender, a couple of issues that have actually come up with that. After that, I want to go over what's going on with the Basel Committee's proposal, which give banks really a green light for crypto, which is why we saw the market up earlier in the day. After that, we're going to go over Coinbase. Gets a crazy rating from Wall Street, but then also had some major news with a crypto IRA and 401k provider. Moving on, we're going to talk about interactive brokers, which will offer crypto trading. And at the end, we're going to talk about Solana, a couple of altcoins, and then a bonus story we're going to go over about Uber, because they had a major announcement that was just absolutely crazy. So we're going to go over all of that. If you're new here, please be sure to like the stream. Let's try and get this out to more people. Helps me out a lot. And let's get right into it. So right now, let's look at this. What is going on with the screen here? That's OBS. We don't need to see OBS. There we go. Okay, so right now Bitcoin is up about 0.3%. We're really seeing just the entire market stay pretty stable. The entire market was up this morning, but now it's come back down, and the market's down about 1.3%, but we are seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, really everything across the board is relatively flat. And a lot of this has to do with, we had negative news come out yesterday, and then some positive news come out this morning. So the positive news is that the Basel Committee says it will study crypto asset rules. It's going to propose a couple of rules that could allow banks to have a little more sense of security in what they could do with crypto, how much crypto they can hold moving forward. And according to the Bank for International Settlements, Basel Committee plans to hold a public consultation on the treatment of crypto asset exposures. They said they met previously on June 4th, but they will be proposing more documents later this week, and they're planning to have just an entire plan for how banks, how they should move about moving forward with exposure to crypto assets and what they need to do. Because there's a lot of concern right now about increased global financial stability concerns, especially as more and more people want to invest in crypto and more people are starting to get in it. As more people get into it, banks need to, look, how are they going to accommodate this moving forward? And that is really what everyone's trying to figure out right now. In addition to this, the Basel Committee also said that they gave banks basically a green light to hold the leading cryptocurrency and other digital assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, other major cryptos as well. In the proposed documents, remember this isn't anything official, but in the proposed documents, they proposed a risk weight of 1,250% for Bitcoin and all other cryptos, excluding stablecoins that are fully backed by reserves. So you got to remember, risk weight, if you don't know what that is essentially helps to determine how much money banks have to keep on hand to prevent solvency, to prevent them from being at risk. And it's just saying, each type of asset, whether you're talking about stocks, whether you're talking about bonds, whether you're talking about government securities, everything's a little different, how much the bank has to keep on hand to prevent solvency. And that is what they're doing. So essentially, they said with this 1,250% for Bitcoin, it means that a bank would be required to hold capital equivalent to the face value of Bitcoin exposure. So for example, the proposal said $100 exposure would give risk to weighted assets of $1,250, which when multiplied by the minimum capital requirement of 8% results in minimum capital requirement of $100. Essentially, just think about it. This is how much money banks need to keep on hand to prevent any issues from happening moving forward. This is something, pretty exciting. It's a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. The good news is that we are seeing more widespread adoption of crypto moving forward, which is something we want to see. We need to see these regulations put into place. We want to see large institutions, large investment banks feel comfortable putting money into Bitcoin. Their clients want to put money into Bitcoin. And one way we are going to see this happen is by having these regulations put in place. We don't like to see regulations, but sometimes they are necessary because banks, financial institutions have to follow these. So something that is a step in the right direction, something that isn't what everyone in the crypto world wants because we don't always like the regulations, but if we want to see widespread adoption, that is something we will definitely need to have down the road. In addition to this, I don't know if you guys saw, but in El Salvador, we had a big announcement the other day where they officially passed Bitcoin as legal tender. And what happened is they became the first country ever to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender after passing the law. It was expected to pass once they announced that they were proposing this law. A lot of people have heard about this. If you haven't, essentially what it is on Wednesday, June 9th, 2021, the president of El Salvador, he proposed the law, passed the law, and they said the purpose of this law is to regulate Bitcoin as unrestricted legal tender with the liberating power, unlimited in any transaction, into any title that public or private natural or legal persons require carrying out. Essentially, they explained that right now approximately 70% of El Salvador does not have access to traditional financial systems and institutions. And with this Bitcoin law, it's going to open the door up for people who aren't part of the traditional banking system, open the door up to a lot more people. So that was something exciting. That was great news. In my opinion, I think this is going to open the door up to a lot of countries down the road. I think it's going to say, look, countries that maybe are struggling economically, that aren't the big powerhouses in the world. If they're struggling economically, well, then maybe they can use Bitcoin or crypto and make that legal tender to sort of add a sense of stability. Everyone thinks of Bitcoin that it's not stable. It's very volatile. But the thing you got to remember with Bitcoin is the policies around it are just coded in and they're not changing. For example, Bitcoin's only going to have 21 million Bitcoin ever mined. That's it. That's what was established. Bitcoin, it's halved every couple of years, and that happens as well. How much time it takes to mine it. There's certain things in place with Bitcoin that are already set in stone, already coded into the system, and that's how it is moving forward. So if you're a country that's struggling, having that sense of stability with, let's say, policies and policymakers and lawmakers, Bitcoin already has that stability. Bitcoin's price could, yes, go from 60 to 30,000 in a couple of days, but we always know that the underlying factors of Bitcoin are mostly going to stay the same. Things could change over time, but for the most part, it's going to stay the same. Right now, El Salvador was on the US dollar. They used the US dollar. It's the global reserve currency. But with the US dollar, essentially what they were saying is you never know what's going to happen in Washington, D.C. There could be lawmakers in Washington, D.C. that may put some policies in place that could negatively affect the economy. It could positively affect the economy, but they don't want to have all their eggs in one basket. And we're probably going to see more countries do this as well moving forward. But this actually could lead to some risks. And according to IMF, the International Monetary Fund, spokesperson named Jerry Rice came out earlier today on Thursday, June 10th, and he explained how the adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender in El Salvador, while at first appeared like a good thing for a country that might be struggling economically, could actually prevent a lot of issues. And after careful analysis, they really they came to the conclusion that the plans for Bitcoin under an increasingly autocratic regime, this is exactly what he said, will likely only compound concerns about corruption, money laundering, and the independence of regulatory agencies. So you got to remember, with Bitcoin, a lot of lawmakers, a lot of people on Wall Street, their main concern, one of their biggest issues is going to be how are we gonna, how can we regulate this? That's their concern. That's always their concern. And so they're wondering, how are we going to prevent illegal activities from happening? How are we going to prevent things like what happened with the colonial pipelines and what happened just recently in the US? So their concern then becomes, what are we going to do with this? And maybe it isn't such a good idea. Maybe there might be more illegal activities. Maybe there might be more money laundering. But for the most part, in my opinion, I think the positives outweigh the negatives for this specific scenario with what is going on in El Salvador with Bitcoin adopting it as legal tender. They're the first country ever to do this. And I think it's going to open the door up for a lot more countries down the road. Before we get into the next topic, if you guys are new here, please be sure to like the stream. I will be putting timestamps down below so you can skip ahead to any portion of the video if you are watching this at a later time. It's just going to be like one of our normal videos, but I'll put timestamps so you can skip ahead. Next topic that I do want to go over is actually with Coinbase. Coinbase had a major announcement the other day, a major partnership actually, which was, in my opinion, it was very exciting. And that is that right now, Coinbase, they teamed up with 401k provider called For Us All Inc. They're a 401k provider, retirement provider, and they announced earlier this month the deal. But now what we know is that out of the 400 employer clients from this retirement 401k provider, we don't know how many are going to be eligible for crypto, but what we do know is that workers at participating companies from this group of companies could invest up to 5% of their account balances in crypto. This is a big deal because whenever I think of crypto, the main thing you start to think of is, are you going to be holding it long term? Are you going to be holding it short term? What is going on? And the two main things are, if you're holding it long term, you are not going to be trading it at all, well then it doesn't really have too many tax advantages to putting it in an IRA or a 401k. But for example, if you're going to be trading a lot and you don't need the money, like right now, let's say you want to put in a retirement account, you can always put money in a retirement account, in a 401k, an IRA, and trade it. Buy every single day, buy multiple times a day. You could day trade and you don't have to pay any taxes on that. So that is really important. Like, you pay taxes either, when you first put the money in or when you take the money out. But every single capital gains that you normally would have to pay capital gains tax, you don't with a retirement account. So this is big news for crypto, because what it's showing is that crypto is becoming a little bit more mainstream for financial institutions, even though For Us All Inc. represents a very small piece of retirement accounts. They only have about $1.7 billion in assets, which is tiny. Like, it's a drop in the bucket for retirement accounts, which have about $22 trillion in total. Even though it's just a drop in the bucket, even though it's small, it's the right step. It's a good step in the right direction. It is really a great sign, because we're starting to see more and more companies offer crypto in their retirement accounts, at least an option for crypto. Whether these are self-directed and you can pick your own investments, or whether it's just what companies are saying, to allocate a certain portion of, like, if you work for a company, sometimes they say you want to be a little more growth, a little more risky, or you want to be more conservative. So maybe they'll add more crypto options as well. This is something very exciting. However, though, on the other hand, Coinbase actually got a little bit of a negative rating the other day, the first ever sell rating on Wall Street, and it came from Raymond James. So Raymond James gave Coinbase its first ever sell rating on Wall Street, and their main thing was that they said there's a lot of competition that is coming up for Coinbase. So, not all of it's here right now, but it's coming, and it's going to come stronger than ever, because a lot of people want to buy and sell crypto. And the one thing with Coinbase is they have the fees. Everyone knows who buys on Coinbase is they do have, pretty significant fees. And there's already companies out there, let's say like Robinhood, which don't have fees. If you buy crypto on Robinhood, while they only have a handful of cryptos that you can buy, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Ethereum Classic, I believe, while they only have a handful of them, you don't have to pay any fees at all on Coinbase, on Robinhood, which is what we're going to see for more and more exchanges moving forward. What we typically see, the typical progression for exchanges, whether there were stocks or with crypto. At first, you always see fees. You see fees with all stock exchanges at first. Robinhood came out, they said, look, we're not doing fees anymore. Well, at least, what people would assume and visually appears to be fees. They still take fees elsewhere by from market makers and things like that. But at least for the end user, it appears that there are no fees on Robinhood. And after they did that, well, then a lot of people went to Robinhood for stocks, and then other companies had to follow suit. So now we're seeing a lot of other brokerage apps do the same exact thing, no fees. And they're saying that this is what's going to happen again with crypto. Right now, there's not as many platforms where you can buy a wide range of cryptos. Like Robinhood, there's a limited number. Coinbase is really the main one. Like me, Coinbase is my go-to. If you don't have Coinbase, like it's probably the easiest and best platform, in my opinion, to use for crypto. But right now, the thing is they explained how the vast majority of Coinbase's revenues come from trading commissions. They come from these times, every single time someone buys or sells a crypto. And when there's more competition in the marketplace, they said that this source of revenue is going to drop dramatically, because right now there's not a high barrier to entry for exchanges that are already like in stocks to really go over to crypto. They said, and once we see more companies move over to crypto, the only way they're going to be more competitive is if they have the same coins is by dropping those fees. And then that's going to be a struggle for Coinbase in terms of their revenue. It's going to take a big hit to revenue. Obviously, there's other ways to generate revenue, but you got to remember right now, this is the main source of their revenue. More people are trading, the more fees they generate, the more money they're making. This is their main source of revenue right now. So they said right now they're giving Coinbase a price target of $95 per share. I think that's ridiculous, even though I agree with the statement that Coinbase is going to experience a lot of competition. They're going to have to maybe change up their business models just a bit because of the fees, and they're going to probably have to reduce fees for trading and make it probably no fees like Robinhood. But even though I agree with what they're saying there, you gotta remember, Coinbase is like the NASDAQ. Coinbase is like the New York Stock Exchange. They are the go-to exchange, the cryptocurrency exchange for most people in the crypto world. It is something that you really can't overlook, and I definitely don't agree with the price target they're giving. I think there is competition, but I think, competition is going to breed winners, and I think Coinbase is definitely a winner. You can't say like, oh, because there's competition, they're going to fail. They already have a head start. Most people who own crypto, if they think, where can I buy and sell crypto? They'll say, I'll go to Coinbase. I mean, that's why we saw it as the first ever crypto exchange being listed on the stock market. So you just got to remember that, yes, there's going to be competition. I think it's going to make Coinbase better long term. The fees, they mean a lot now. Couple of years from now, when there are a lot of brokerages without fees, I don't think it's going to mean too much. I wouldn't really be too worried about it. But speaking of crypto, actually a new broker, like we just said, is stepping in the arena. They're stepping in with Coinbase, and that is Interactive Brokers. So Interactive Brokers just came out the other day, and they said that they're going to be offering crypto trading by the end of the summer. Interactive Brokers is by no means the largest by no means a very large trading platform. They're a main player, but they're not as big as like a Charles Schwab or JP Morgan and Chase. Not as big as them. But Interactive Brokers, they're seen as the e-broker with some of the most sophisticated clientele. They have about, I believe right now, where is it? 720,000 client brokerage accounts. They have $170 billion in customer equity. So they have a lot of stuff going for them. They have a decent number of clients, by no means the largest, but right now they're saying that customers are asking them frequently, when are we going to be able to buy crypto? When can we trade crypto? Because like, you gotta think of it. If you have your stocks in a certain account, do you want to have stocks and crypto and everything you do in separate places? At some point, you're like, hey, if I could do everything in one place, probably easier. Like right now, there's no perfect solution for that. Like Coinbase is great for crypto. They don't have stocks. Robinhood, I'd say is, pretty good for stocks. There are some issues, but for crypto, it's there as well, but they don't have as many coins. So there's no perfect solution yet for being able to buy crypto, be able to buy stocks all on one platform. Like Robinhood, for example, if you have crypto there, you can't send it out. You can't withdraw your crypto to a cold storage wallet. You can't do that. Eventually there will be a solution. And I think with Interactive Brokers entering the space, it's going to promote more competition. And yes, I think it's going to help, bring more customers, more people who might have not been in the crypto world. It'll get them more involved in crypto and be like, look, if you have a stock brokerage account and you see that, oh, now I could buy Ethereum, now I could buy Bitcoin, now I could buy Cardano, well, you might just go ahead and buy some of them just because you might not be the most, you might not be the biggest fan of crypto, you might not know the most about it, but you might say, look, I've heard a lot about this, I'm gonna do a little bit of research, and since it's on my brokerage account, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm not gonna go out of my way, make a Coinbase account, but this is gonna be good for some of these people who don't already have Coinbase accounts, don't already own crypto, but now want to get in. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing all these brokerage accounts like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, their customers are asking for crypto. So even though Fidelity and Charles Schwab have not yet offered crypto, we're seeing that Interactive Brokers will be offering Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptocurrency trading later this summer. This is a big announcement because we're seeing some of the more traditional stock brokerages say, look, we need to add crypto. It's about time. So this will be big. We'll see what happens moving forward. We'll see what happens. According to their most recent report, actually Interactive Broker says they have 1.33 million customers. From the data on Google that we just looked at was a little bit outdated. But either way, we'll see how this progresses, how this actually plays out. I think it's gonna make Charles Schwab, Fidelity, all these other ones want to run into it, and that's going to bring more money into crypto. I think that's going to be great for the crypto world moving forward. I don't know if you guys saw, but Solana the other day, they raised $314 million in a token sale led by A16Z Polychain. This was massive. This was something I was super excited about because I've been talking about Solana quite a bit on this channel. On our other channel. We have another channel with about 200, we're almost at 250,000 subscribers. But, oh, Bitcoin just turned green. Got distracted there for a minute, but no. So Solana is a crypto that it's very exciting. It has a lot going for them. They're a competitor for Ethereum in terms of being a decentralized finance crypto. They want to build DeFi apps on them. And this announcement was really big because Solana raised $314 million from top crypto venture firms in a token sale that basically is going to help supercharge their plans to build decentralized finance ecosystem atop the Solana blockchain. So yes, Solana is quite far behind Cardano, really far behind Ethereum. But with this extra capital, it's going to help propel them and accelerate their development process. A lot of people were expecting they were going to raise around $200 million, but very few people thought it was going to be $314 million. According to Solana Labs CEO, Anatoly, he said in a press statement that such a massive haul might be necessary if the latest blockchain to be deemed an Ethereum killer for its lower fees and faster processing time is to see that vision through. He said the next phase is onboarding billions of users, and that's what they need to do moving forward. He says that right now, like, yes, they have the platform, they're raising money. The next big step is going to be, how can we get users? Are they going to advertise? Are they going to have more, like, better DeFi applications built on top? That's their next goal moving forward. Like, yes, Solana right now, in terms of market cap, is ranked number 12. By no means is it small. It's ranked number 12. It has an $11 billion market cap. It's in the top 15, almost in the top 10. So by no means is it small. But the important thing for Solana long-term is going to be, how many users are they able to get? Because you got to remember that all of these smaller altcoins have surged dramatically in 2021. Like, Solana has 22x'd its price over the last 12 months. And the only way we're going to see this and not see all of these crash from the market, when the market goes into a bear market, the only reason we're not going to see these crash is by having actual use cases, having good projects, and a lot of development going on behind the scenes. So right now for Solana, the way they brand themselves is essentially a high-speed Ethereum. There's some things I like about this, some things I don't. So the first thing is that I do like how they were founded recently, 2017, by pretty big name people. They were founded by Anatoly, who's a former engineer at Qualcomm and Dropbox, alongside a colleague another colleague from Qualcomm, which was Greg Fitzgerald. So both these people have experience in major tech firms. You know, that's a base. You like to see that. And it's like they were pretty big tech firms. Qualcomm and Dropbox, major tech firms. But the thing, so I like that. The other thing I like is that right now Solana able to process 1,000 transactions per second. They're working up, and eventually the maximal theoretical throughput, they say, is 50,000 transactions per second. So that is, you know, that's good for now. But my question is how are they going to be able to scale that up long term? Can they even reach more than 50,000? Because right now Cardano is going to be able eventually to reach 1 million transactions per second. That's what Cardano will be capable of. Ethereum will be able to reach 100,000. So yes, even though right now Solana has significantly lower transaction fees than Ethereum, even though they're able to process significantly more transactions per second. You can see this chart right here. Even though that's all possible with ETH 2.0, with Cardano, and as those continue to develop, how is Solana going to be able to continue to grow and get people on its platform? Like, yes, 50,000 transactions per second is great. It's not going to be enough to be a global crypto, like, and take over Ethereum. Long term, in my opinion, they're going to have to be able to scale that up. But the one thing they do have going for them is the fees are very low, which is great. You know, will that change when there's more people using the network? Possible. That is possible. But I do like that right now about Solana. You know, there's things I like, things I don't like. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Either way, though, them raising more capital is definitely a great sign, something that it's needed long term for Solana, because it's going to help accelerate the process. We're seeing so many DeFi applications being built. The only way they're going to really get a leg ahead, you know, get a little bit further ahead of their competition, is have a bit of extra capital that they can deploy and use to build out the platform. Next up, I do want to talk about Ethereum. We had some great news with Ethereum, something that was really surprising and very exciting at the same time. I think it's going to make Ethereum be well on its way to actually surpassing Bitcoin in terms of total market cap, you know, what's called Ethereum flippening. And that is that right now, new deposits to Ethereum 2.0 reached a record high in May. So according to data, they explained how the Ethereum 2.0 network received a record-breaking number of new deposits in May, indicating increased interest for and investment in Ethereum's plan to reduce blockchain energy consumption through a proof-of-stake consensus protocol. This is very exciting. Yes, this is live, Disney Bros. This is live. I'm just going through the topics. I'm just going through them rapidly. Rigo, yeah, we are live. I'm just going through these topics, but I want to make sure that when we play the video back, that it is that if someone wants to watch it, they can watch it through just like a normal video. So I'm ready, but what we're doing is right now, Ethereum 2.0 validators. What they said is, I got distracted there for a minute, but yeah. So I wanted to go live because I wanted to, you know, people were asking us to go live for a while on this channel. So I said, you know what, let's go live. Let's see how it works on this channel. But yes, we definitely are live. No, I'm not. But okay, so let's go back. I got distracted. Okay, in May, they had a record number of deposits for Ethereum 2.0. Essentially what this means is that people are very bullish on Ethereum long term. They believe that Ethereum is something they want to invest in long term. So that's why they are essentially staking their Ethereum. And that's why we saw deposits to Ethereum 2.0 set records in May of 2021. It wasn't by much. We saw 26,681 deposits May of 2021, a little bit above the record high back in December of 2020, just a little bit. But what this means is that essentially people are believing in Ethereum more and more. They're saying, look, we're fine locking up our Ethereum for a little while. We're fine staking it. We're fine just generating that extra interest and leaving our money in Ethereum, not being able to sell it because we believe in it long term. In terms of dollar amounts, the total amount of ETH staked on ETH 2.0 has risen from 12 billion at the beginning of May to over 13 billion as of Tuesday, June 7th. So really, these deposits represent a very small portion of how much money is circulating of Ether, only about 4.6%. But the important part is that even though it's only a small percentage of the total Ether in circulation, the important part is that we are seeing an increase of deposits. People are believing in it long term. People are putting money into this. This relates back to what we spoke about earlier with the crypto 401k and IRA accounts. Like if you can buy and sell and trade crypto in your 401k, in your IRA, the important thing is that what's actually going to happen is people who have money in a 401k or IRA, a lot of the time they just forget about it. They're like, look, I have money in a 401k or an IRA, but I don't know, I can't use this money for years. So what they decide is, look, I'm just going to put the money, once we start seeing like Ethereum and other cryptos get more involved into IRAs, 401ks, we're probably going to see this number increase even more because people, like if I had the crypto option in a 401k and like a self-directed 401k and an IRA, I would definitely stake it on Ethereum 2.0 because I'm not touching Ethereum. Like I believe Ethereum's going much higher long term. I like all the use cases. I like the smart contracts. I like all of the development going on with Ethereum, with NFTs. It's a project I really am bullish on long term. I think it could pass Bitcoin in terms of market cap. So I think many people are feeling the same way. Many people are starting to look towards Ethereum. We're seeing institutions pour money in. And for all these reasons, I think that's why we're seeing ETH 2.0, the amount staked on ETH 2.0 continue to increase because people are just believing in it long term. People are saying, look, we believe in Ethereum. We think it's going to be there long term. And for that reason, we're going to stake our ETH in ETH 2.0. So good sign. We like to see this increase. It just means more bullish sentiment long term. Last up, a bit of a tech story. The channel is called Cryptech. So the tech story for today is Uber. This is pretty messed up. They said that they offered to pay drivers health insurance and then they yanked it away. They sent an email to who knows how many people, and a lot of people got this email saying, look, we're gonna help you pay for your health insurance. And they said that the title of the email said it's a great time to get health coverage and Uber can help cover your healthcare costs. Then what they did is they were like, look, you know what? We made a mistake. You weren't supposed to get that email. So even if you signed up for the health insurance that we had listed, well, it was a mistake. We're not paying for it anymore. They sent another email then out a little while after to the people they made a mistake to. And this is an email to a guy named Edward. They said, on May 26th, we sent you 2 emails with the subject line, it's a great time to get health coverage. One of these 2 emails told you that Uber can help cover your healthcare costs. Unfortunately, we made a mistake sending you this email as this policy only applies to drivers and delivery people in California. So really what happened was they were only supposed to send this email to people in California, but they sent it to a bunch of drivers. And this is messed up because there's been a lot of issues around Uber, like should Uber drivers be employees, be treated as employees? Should they get healthcare, dental? Should they get a lot of benefits that other employees get? A lot of legal issues around this for the last couple of years. And the problem is that now they sent out an email to probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of people saying, look, we'll pay for healthcare now. And this is a cost that this could have saved people like 613, like subsidies ranging from $613 to $1,277, depending on what insurance policy they had, how long they work. This would have been huge. Yeah, they said, no, we're not doing this. We said we were gonna do it. We sent you the wrong email. Too bad, that sucks. And I found this really frustrating because, that sort of mistake is not, by no means, that's a big mistake. You can't go ahead, send people a link to get health insurance, say you're gonna cover it, and then say, you know what, you signed up, we're not covering it. I felt like that was pretty messed up. We'll see what happens. This was only for people, supposed to be for people in California. There was a lot of legal issues, a lot of legal battles in California between Uber, Lyft, and the state of California, what was going on there. So it's only for California, but I found this, like, this was something that I was just not, I found very frustrating. Like, owning a business and making that sort of mistake, that's a big mistake. So they should have at least said, okay, you know, we made a mistake, maybe compensate everyone and pay for this for a couple of months. They have billions of dollars, but they're not going to. They said they'd reimburse the first month if people did sign up for it, but other than that, they're not gonna reimburse. They're not gonna stay with what they said. Found it very, very frustrating. I don't know, just didn't sit right. Didn't sit right at all. But that's really all I got for you guys today. Let me know if you want more of these live streams. I know it didn't really seem like a live stream. I just went through all the topics really quickly. But let me know if you guys want more of these live streams moving forward. We can talk a bit more at the end of them, but we just like ran through all those topics real quick. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys want more of these live streams? I could do like 2 a day on this channel. Let's look what the chat's saying. Man, what the hell is underdog? DOG check. Hey, Rigo, Mark, Samson. Yeah. Danny K, if I stutter too much, you know, maybe I have a stuttering issue. That's not really considerate. It's not really considerate. Not everyone can speak as perfectly as, I don't know how you speak, but you know, I don't know. What else? I didn't even look at the chat. Robinhood is down. Anyone else? It says maintenance. A lot of times they do that late in the evening. You like 2 times a day live stream? Mary Clifford. Yes. Ram, Nepal, more live streams. Got it. I feel like live streams are good because they like have the community aspect. People can actually communicate. I can see what you guys are saying. I can answer some of your questions. I think it's a lot better. Trust me, you gotta chat. Let's look. Let me throw this. Let's go back to this screen. Yeah, I feel like, what other cryptos am I in? I love the live, my guy. Keep them coming. Jorge. Thanks, Michelle. Jorge. What other cryptos? The main cryptos I'm in right now, guys, are Cardano, Polygon, Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, Solana, and Dogecoin. Like, those are like the main ones. Dogecoin's for fun. I don't own a lot of Dogecoin, but it is just for fun. Quick question. Can you explain how crypto gets shorted? We'll talk about that in the next video, guys. Rigo. Yeah, I'll keep the live streams coming. Do you guys have a preference on the time for the live streams? I think we're going to probably do it around this time. We'll just get 2 a day in. We'll get 2 in a day. Make sure to always tune in. Keep your notifications on. If you guys want to see what stocks I'm buying and selling, make sure to check me out on Public Investing app. Let me put a link. I want to put a link for you guys in the video. We're going to put it in the chat. It's going to play this out loud. So if you want to see what stocks I'm buying and selling, make sure to, here we go. You can see my exact portfolio. It's free. There we go. Here it is. So you just, download Public Investing, use the code Michael and follow me, and it's completely free to download. You don't have to pay at all for it. It's just like a Twitter, but for investing. Like, that's how I think of it. I actually like this platform more than Robinhood, more than Webull, more than all my other brokerage apps, because I go on it, I do talk in the morning, like not like physically talk, but I have chats where I talk about everything. And you could see my exact portfolio. So it's not like YouTubers who say, oh, I bought this, and then you're like, did they actually buy it or do they not own it? Jorge, thank you. But yeah, so if you want to see the exact stocks I actually own, not like people who on YouTube say, oh, I bought this much of this, I bought this much of this. On public, you can see my exact portfolio, what's short-term, what's long-term, and every single time I add a new stock, you'll be able to see it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in for today. We will try and do more live streams on this channel, Cryptech. I really do appreciate it. And we will, moving forward, if you guys are not already subscribed to my main channel, look up Michael Rubel, W-R-U-B-E-L. We are going live tonight in 3.5 hours covering the Tesla event. We're going to cover what is going on with the Tesla Model S. We're going to try and watch that live. So make sure to check that out if you are new here. But I hope you guys had a great day, great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.